evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up for a pretty volatile Thursday, the 5th of April, 2024. So it's a sea of red behind me. I think you see this everywhere. Late in the day, Neil Kashari came out, who's not a voting member, by the way, this year of the Fed, and he made his case also that maybe there's not going to be an interest rate cut. Okay. The market got nervous with that. And then the market's been talking about what about Israel? What's the retaliation from Iran? And the market decided to pick up with that. Okay. But that's not what I think it's all about. I think the market today stepped back going into the jobs report in the morning because nobody knows what it's going to say. You know, there's been an argument that immigration is behind all the jobs being taken up. And the question is, if there's immigration and you get more people like that, then you shouldn't see wages go up. So I think the market's going to focus on whether wages went up in that report also, because we really don't know the impact yet of the immigration on the wage, on how this jobs is working. But we know a number of these people coming in are getting jobs. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. They're bringing money with them. I see it in Chicago. I had friends that were in family over the last night. And he's from Washington, D.C., and he says, everybody's saying, look at all these Spanish that are, or Mexicans, that are on scooters all over the city. And people are going, what the heck's going on with this? Well, it's simple. Wherever you have a sanctuary city, you're getting the migrants coming, and wherever the migrants go, they're not exactly penniless, and they're getting money from the government when they come in now, and they're finding jobs. They may not be on the radar, but they're finding jobs. And if they find jobs, you don't have wages going up. So you want to see what the wage numbers are tomorrow, and you want to see what that jobs is. The rest of it, to me, whether the Fed's going to cut, not cut, we've already heard from 7 different Fed members. Yeah, today there's 7 of them, 6 of them tomorrow. So you're going to have your hands full hearing what they say. Tomorrow's will be the most interesting because they'll have seen at that point the jobs report. Although some that are speaking now, you know, sometimes Fed members do see these reports, or at least parts of them, a bit early. So when we look at the non-farm payroll data for tomorrow at 7:30, we're looking forward to 200,000 jobs. That would be down 75,000 from the prior month. So on the surface, at least on the surface, while 200,000 is still a good amount, it's a lot less if it comes in like that. The jobless rate is expected to be 3.8%, down, if you will, an eighth from the prior month. And the earnings are expected up 0.3 month over month. So that's what you have going in. Now we'll see what you actually get in the report. That's always going to be where the leather meets the road, as they say. When I look at Freeport today, finally a little bit of profit taking. So we'll see if the market can pull back off of this news. You can see that you have a lower low, higher high, which is still a bullish formation. Now the support comes in at 45.32, and what held the market back was the upper Bollinger Band, as I pointed out to you over and over and over. You've got to learn to work with Bollinger Bands. In fact, at the end of this, I'll run my Bollinger Band ad for all of you so that you can, if you want to learn how to work with it the way that I do, I teach it in a complete course. You can see here lower highs, lower lows, and coming right into the support, into the report of the 200-day average in the gray, and the red is the 18-day average. You lost the upside momentum. That means these numbers, these averages were the target, and you're basically right there. In DraftKings, I'm not in the bull camp right now. You know, you're coming to the end of this big betting. And now we'll see when earnings come, how well did they do with it? But you only have the final 4 left, so it's a whole different scale now. In UGA, still bullish as far as I'm concerned. So the gasoline's still looking bullish to me. The energies were strong today because people don't know what to expect with Iran going after Israel at Iran's choice of place, time, and what they're going to do. Are they going to attack something in the strait by them? Nobody quite knows. We'll find out what goes on, but my guess is they're not going to attack the United States. They'll be attacking Israel, since Israel's the one that worked on what they did in Syria and took out a bunch of their leaders. military leaders. Lower highs, lower low, and under the 18-day average for the short term. For the first time, you actually have a downtrend going home until today's high is taken out, and it could portend that the market goes to the lower band or fights a battle at the 18-day average. But I think a lot of traders that were playing the financial services today as a market technician probably knocked out of longs. Now, what do we do in an XLI? We're pulling back for the first time to the 18-day average. You haven't been back here since all the way at the beginning of January. So this is the first technical action that's got a bit of downside to it. Haven't had anything like that in a while. You know, I'm very negative on the CME group as a chart. It still looks to me very bearish. Next level, 211. They're applying to be a Treasury dealer, had no real impact at all. In RSPD, which is the S&P 500 weight for the consumer discretionary, well, you're down to the first objective, 48.76, but you pulled the plug out of the market this morning. This outside day down takes the market and not only into a downtrend, oversold territory, and into the first objective of the lowest band. In the home builders, obviously, today's going to be a pivot day. Why? Because the market wants to see what does it look like the Fed's going to do. Interest rates are going to be what's super important here. We know that people want to buy homes. We know that mortgages are a problem. We know there isn't enough supply on the market. And these are home builders, not already existing homes. You're only going in if you can afford to go in and build the home because you can't find what you want on the market. How will they do? What will their margins look like? I think tomorrow's an important day, but going home, they're in a downtrend, not an uptrend. Again, another outside day down. If you haven't taken my outside day course, shame on you, because this is where you want all that information. Excuse me, getting a bad quote there. In GLD, you're in now up and over. If you take a look, the Bollinger Band, and now pulling back under it. You had about 4 or 5 days over it, so it's a normal pullback. SIL's got 3 days, but it looks a little heavy to me. Normally, you don't go more than 5 to 7 in the ETFs over a Bollinger Band. Futures are 5. In the copper market, stalling right out against the upper Bollinger Band. That's why Freeport stalled out today, both the copper stalling and this market at this point. And in TLT, a higher high and lower low, a definitive problem happening in the market at this point. When you put UUP on, you get higher highs, higher lows. They're still in a bullish formation, but you lost today the bullish embedded reading. That means the first objective is in line. It's right here. It's 28.22, and you hit today 28.22. Doesn't have to go any lower. It could, but it need not. In FXE, sorry that we're getting another bad quote, but that comes in sometimes at this hour. I'm learning that it's 3:30 on that is the hour that seems to be the problem. I'm going to make a film tape of this and show my people what we're running into, and maybe they can figure out what to do. In the meantime, as I said, you want to learn Bollinger Bands. And the reason is you get down to them or up to them. They're often your first natural resistance points. Plus, a lot of algorithms use them. And they'll put them in as the first potential real spot maybe they take money off of and so on. I don't know of anyone that really uses them as a buy signal or a sell signal to go short. It's the opposite. They'll generally be an area to take something off the table. But to find out more, just take a look at this. I'm Ira Epstein. And remember, you can always click right up at the top here for the Bollinger Band course. It'll take you there. It's iraepstein.com under education. Here you go. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all 3 of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, If you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.